Think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm. Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor, and as you know, this show puts cars into the context of our everyday life. You can also possibly tell that we're not in the WMTV studios. We are at the Automotive Hall of Fame, so we have a very special show for you today. I hope it'll enlighten, a little bit of entertainment, and possibly some education. But one thing I will not apologize for is my decidedly Detroit perspective. Today I've got a real special guest, a good friend, and someone that really knows the car business inside and out from the enthusiast side. And he is none other than Mike Rey. Mike, welcome to Cars in Context. Thanks for coming out today. Mike is the president of MOCSEM. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan. Mike, probably the premier auto club to be around, and it's right here in our hometown. So if you're a Ford or a Mustang guy, you've got to be part of MOCSEM. I'm really excited about having you here. But before we get into why Mike is here today at the Hall of Fame, we're going to talk about a little bit about what's in the news, especially for MOCSEM. What's really in the news, guys, today is that Mike came to the Hall of Fame to set up a special plan for this summer. And this summer, Mike and MOCSEM are going to be working together with a Ford GT program that's going to be going on here at the Hall to make his annual show extra special. Now, Mike, there is some big news we got to share with everybody. It's always news when you throw Mustang Memories. That happens every August. But what's going to be the big news? What's the big attraction? I was there with the Boss Reunion, the SVT 20th anniversary. I've seen your shows go from the Livonia, the barn show out in Livonia to Green Meat to Novi, and now you're behind Ford World Headquarters. What's the big news for this year, 2013?
Today we just got some great news that we confirmed that the Ford GTs will be in attendance at Mustang Memories this year for our 25th anniversary event. They will have special parking, just like the Boss Reunion has had, SVT has had last year. We're going to try to coordinate the most Ford GTs together at one spot at one time.
You know, they're going for the world record of one show. I think it's roughly around 100 cars. If you break that record, this will be your chance, folks, to come out and see this number of these exotic Ford supercars all in one place. Now, tell me again, you moved to the world headquarters when?
2011.
So you moved to and the idea was, since you were a Ford club, Ford-based club, there are more than Mustangs in MOCSEM, right?
Right. It's all Ford and Mustangs. It's the majority, obviously, is Mustangs, but we definitely have Fords. We even have an Escort in the club, and there's a lot of Cougars in the club and Thunderbirds as well.
Do you have to have a show car to come out to the show?
Nope.
So it could be, if you're in love with your old Ford truck?
Absolutely. If you're just an enthusiast, even if you're a Chevy guy, come on out and see the beautiful Fords.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's $5 for a spectator to come on in, and it's just going to be an amazing show. We had over 4,000 spectators last year, close to 900 cars on the ground. So it's going to be a great event.
So can you imagine, folks, here's a chance on an August morning to come out on a Sunday morning. Come out to, first of all, Ford World Headquarters grounds, which is a beautiful, picturesque place, and to see a car show that you are thinking 800, 900, maybe 1,000 cars this year?
Yes.
All in one place?
Absolutely. And we have the best place that you can hold a car show at if you're a Ford guy, and that's at the Ford World Headquarters in
So
Dearborn.
as you're coming up Michigan Avenue, you wouldn't see it. It's actually behind Ford.
Yes, you'll see signs and everything to direct you in the way, but our actual show is behind the actual headquarters, but just will have a nice backdrop that matches the front right from the back.
So there's always plenty of parking. When you want to see a car show, most people love to go to Woodward or their local cruises. A lot of the car shows locally bring, I don't know, Mike, 50, 60, 100 cars.
Right.
How in the heck did you get so many wonderful old Fords and Mustangs coming out to one show at one point?
We have a lot of special attractions at our show. A lot of Ford execs are on the grounds. A lot of people like to see them. We have the big racing rigs. Ford Racing trailer is there. Pipes is there. Ford Division trailer is there. There's a lot of different sponsors that we have there that actually bring in just the eye-catching semis that are there. That's nice. You can get new product and things there. You can see cars that you've never seen before. One of my specialties is trying to bring in one-off cars. Yep. Last year we had the Western Mustang was there.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
We had Henry Ford's original Mustang that was there. A lot of cars that you can't see anywhere else that are one of one. You got to come to our show to see them. This year we're working on a lot more to come on out. So I mean, it's definitely a great experience for things you've never seen before, as well as we host the award presentation of the Mustang Dream Giveaway.
Yeah.
We hand the keys away to the lucky winner of the 2 Shelbys that is this year. One is a vintage Shelby, and one is a one-of-one 2013 Shelby that will be there.
Wow. So folks, and this isn't for you just car freaks and your family. This is a family event. So if you want to bring the kids and the entire family out to the show, you can bring the strollers along. The kids can walk through kind of history of all the great old Fords and the old Mustangs that are out there at the show. It's like a walk back through the past to see all these great old cars all in one place. What about food and vendors on the spot?
We have food available. We have vendors on the spot. We have a kids activity area too. So if you
that's
are bringing the
great.
kids, they can get their faces painted, get balloons and things like that. So there is a kids activity, which we are expanding even more so this year. We're going to try to have a little kids workshop within the show this year. Yeah, definitely a lot of things to do. There's product raffles. We have a live DJ on site. We have a
swap meet? You're gonna have a swap meet this year?
Absolutely, huge swap meet. Actually, numbers just in right now. We are way ahead of pace forever. We think it's going to be a complete sellout for our spring swap and our fall swap. So the swap meet's going to be really, really increasing too as well.
Well, I'll tell you, that's great news. For anyone who has not been to the show, it's something you really ought to plan to do in the Detroit area in summer. Now, Mike, what are the dates for the Memories show? I know this show that with the Ford GT is going to, the weekend prior to Memories, they're going to have a lot of activities here at the hall. Is the Mustang Club going to be involved with the hall, or are you going to just have everybody come over to Mustang Memories?
Mustang Club will be involved with them throughout the whole weekend.
Wow.
The events start on Thursday, which is the 8th of August, and then we'll have something going on Friday, something going on Saturday, and then actually the main grand finale will be on Sunday at Mustang Memories.
Big show, bright and early on Sunday morning, and we want everybody to come on out and be there.
Absolutely. It's the #1 show, largest show, all Ford and Mustangs for one day on this side of the country. So
something you got to absolutely make plans to be there. We're going to be there. We hope to see you there too. We're going to come back and put Mike in the driver's seat and talk about the club life, the experience of being in the Mustang Club and running a Mustang Club right after this break. So we'll catch you back then. Hi, and welcome back to Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. Today, we're here at the Automotive Hall of Fame in Dearborn. We're talking to our very special guest, Mike Rey, the president of the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, otherwise known as MOCSEM. Mike, again, thanks for coming on to Cars in Context. Now, today, we're at the hall. We talked about a little bit of the news that's going on with the club, but I think people really need to know and understand the club experience. You know, on Cars in Context, we had Marcy Cipriani. We called her the Duchess of the car clubs, but because it's generally a male-dominated business, but it's so great to see families involved. And I know you and your wife Tracy are doing a killer job with this club. The club has grown. I remember being in this club from back in the day when my little boys were about this big, and now they're 6'6", 200-pounders off doing their own thing. So I really wanted to go back and help our viewers understand, how does an owner who has a kind of a fun car get involved in the club hobby, first of all, second of all, then gets involved in the club, and then we'll take it to where you get to actually running the thing. So how did you first get involved in the Mustang hobby?
I've always had Mustangs since high school. Started out with an 85 GT convertible. Then we bought a 86 Mustang SVO that we had for probably 13 years. Had it in storage, didn't drive it too much, so didn't really get out in the car club world. And,
trying to be the collector.
Yes. So we sold it when it had 54,000 miles on it. I wanted to sell it because I seen the new body style, 2005. I wanted to have one of them.
Yeah.
Thought it would be fun. I thought it looked cool. So put the car up for sale, sold the car right away. Easy sell with the SVO.
Oh yeah.
Went and placed my order, and in 6 weeks I had my 2005 Mustang GT. Picked it up on June 24th of 2005. In July, I think 18th, went to our first car show.
So you weren't in the club when you bought the car?
No, I was never in a club.
Bought the car, figured, hey, I'll go to a car show.
Went to a car show.
Which car show did you go to?
The Livonia Church of Christ car show.
Oh, yeah.
And walked in, and there was a lot of Mustangs, and I was walking around looking at them, and it happened to be the club that was there. So they started talking to me and started recruiting me. I joined then and there, right there on the spot.
Really?
Yep. So I came in, and so that was July of 05. At the end of the '05, I was very active in all the events the rest of the year. I followed the club pretty closely, went to a lot of events, talked to a lot of people, was very active. The president at the time said the vice president was stepping down, and he really wanted me to kind of run for vice president. At the time, I thought it was a joke, and I says, okay, I'll throw it in there, thinking nobody even knows me, I won't have a chance.
Put your name down?
Just to suffice him, and actually, I ran uncontested, so I became vice president.
Let that be a warning to you all, folks. So Mike and Tracy get involved in the club because it's just, they got the car, they want to meet people. And with Mike and Tracy coming to the club a lot and going to the events, they starting to get to know him. Mike was getting pretty active, just going to what the club does, cruises, meetings, all the little outings they have. So here they think, well, you're here all the time, do you want to be involved? And that's the cool thing about the club. You can be an armchair member who just, gets the newsletter and shows up once a year, or you can be someone that goes to a couple of meetings each year, maybe the cruise or a fall color tour or one of your great tours that you have, or like in Mike's case, getting actually involved. So someone puts your name as a nomination, you're thinking, no one knows me,
Right.
and bingo.
No shot, I thought, and actually became vice president, and which vice president includes being the show chairman of Mustang Memories.
See, unlike the vice president of the United States, he didn't just have to go to state funerals, and you didn't get in with a hanging chad. You got in with a real vote, so you got to do some really good inside work on the club.
Yeah, and like I said, I was quite shocked because I didn't find out that I would be show chairman until after the election. So they said, now you have to run this big car show. But it actually turned out pretty well, and as you see, it got me on the right track, and it takes off every single year, improves every year. We break records every year. So I don't regret it one bit, and it's just been an amazing experience.
So now he gets to be a really good show chairman. Mustang Memories is long known in the area as a great little car show, but when Mike took the helm of it and it started to grow, Mike, there was also something that happened during this time frame as you were in your vice presidency, before you took the helm of the club, the economy took a little downturn. Car clubs everywhere kind of faced the brunt of everyone's belt tightening. The money you'd pay to go to a show, go to a club, go to an event, you didn't have anymore if you're counting pennies, and so a lot of people in the industry dropping club memberships left and right. But when Mike Rey gets to be the president of MOCSEM, it goes from a couple hundred members to, is it over 700?
725 it was
So,
last month.
okay, here's the biggest question of all. For all those of you who want to be in a club, or all those who are thinking of starting a car club, how do you grow membership in a down economy when the rest of the car club world suffered 50 to 70% losses? And what did Mike Rey decide to do?
Yeah, I heard it was 50 to 70% since like 2005 is a normal car club loss. What we did is, to try to keep this going, we had to provide benefits to the members. They had to get their bang for their buck. So if you ever look on our event calendar, it's very active. We have 2 to 3 events every single week. We even have events in the wintertime to keep people active and keep them together, keep them talking. We provide special parking at every single major cruise for our club alone.
That is good.
While they're there, we feed them. So the club picks up the bill for all that and gives them a free lunch each time. So that's 4 or 5 times a year right there. We get to go on special tours such as the Roush Museum. We had plant tours for Auto Alliance where they build the Mustang.
And by the way, that's not open to the public. You can't get into that plant. Now, the only way to get in there is if you were part of the Mustang Club and be part of that tour. So there's a benefit that you're not even thinking of because you arranged it. You'll never get to see that unless you can get it inside.
Absolutely. Plus we provide discounts from all of our sponsors. Anywhere from 5 to 30, 40% off of products, services, anything like that from a lot of our sponsors.
So if you wives are thinking, oh, I don't need discounts on mufflers or performance tires, I heard recently you just got Magic Windows as a sponsor.
Magic
There you
Windows
go, ladies.
came on.
Get your new Magic Windows by being in MOCSEM. Get a discount.
And let alone Magic Windows is not just windows, they are all home improvement. So anything you need, and here's the kicker, 30% off if you're a MOCSEM member.
Wow. See, now there is an advantage to being in a, who would ever dream being in a car club could save you that kind of money?
If you're getting a roof, you just paid for your membership for the rest of your lifetime.
So this kind of bang for the buck, value for the membership, that is really what kind of drove we're moving in the opposite direction than almost every other car club in the United States.
And it didn't cost us any money. It just took some time and effort, and I don't have any problem doing that. I go out and talk to anybody. I used to be a real shy boy growing up. All of a sudden, since I met Mr. Clor, I'm not anymore. So I really try to get out there and try to provide the benefits for our members that they can enjoy and have fun with their car. I mean, when they buy it, it makes their experience of owning a Ford and a Mustang better.
So part of the idea of being a club, okay, I have these benefits that Mike just talked about. I have all those wonderful things that I can do. But there is a quiet, unheard benefit. And that benefit is twofold. One is you meet people.
Absolutely.
You're going to make some friends. And I'm not talking about the people that say they're your friend on Facebook. Because some of those you may not even know. Oh, they're your friend on Facebook. These are people that are face-to-face. You'll have FaceTime instead of Facebook. You'll meet them. You'll meet about, and they'll talk about their cars and their families. You get to go with them on an outing. You'll make lots of new friends, and I mean real friends that you'll know in a crowd, that you can pick out in a crowd, not that you have to check out some pictures online. The second thing, Mike, and we should talk about this, that people don't know about when you join a car club, when you buy an old car or a collector car, not being in a club and being out there in the world by yourself, you can make a huge mistake by not going to the right place. Is because, as you know, Mike, everyone has done something to their car, and sometimes you go to the wrong place, you make a wrong decision, it could cost you thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
So if you're in a club, somebody in that club did what you want to do.
Right.
They know the paint shops, they know the right repair place, they know how to fix what you need to fix in. And that information, to me, Mike, is a gold mine.
Absolutely.
Is that really what happens in MOCSEM too?
Absolutely, and we always have a swap and sell every month at our meeting. People can talk, and I'm looking for this, or this recent month, somebody had a question about 64.5 wheels.
Oh, wow.
And two of our members stood up and said, I can answer those questions for you. So after the meeting, he got over to go a chance that he's been searching for months on the internet and could not find the answers, and two of our members know the answer. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial.
See, sometimes this is the kind of thing about car club membership that you think you don't need. You can't find this by Googling it. That's the problem. This is something that you'll find only in the enthusiast world, and the best way to find it is by making that membership investment. It'll pay you back. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
now so let's talk about the other part of it. You know, you and Tracy are I see you guys at all the events. Because my travel schedule isn't quite right as far as my life is right. It keeps me on the road a lot. The part I really enjoy is when I'm able to come to a show and kick back and see all the people that we want to talk to and hang out with, and see the fellow owners of cars that we know and love and hear their stories. Some events I can't go to the event, but you can get a first-hand report from someone. They say, you know, next year we're going to go to that tour. I understand you got hooked up with a Ford executive who had a private collection of his own personal Mustangs in his own personal building, and the club was invited to spend an evening with him and have him walk through his private collection. It's like being in someone's personal museum. You'd never get in unless you broke in and were arrested.
Absolutely.
But the club opened this door. I believe the executive's name is Mike Rey of Ford. How did you get him to open up his world to the whole club members, whoever wanted to see his great collection?
Well, Mike Berardi is actually a club member of MOCSEM, so that's how it all starts. They have a lot of different aspects of all the members. They each have their own little twist.
Yeah.
And Mike Berardi happens to have quite a collection of cars, and I think it's close to 40 of them that were there.
Wow.
They range from everything. They got Shelby's, he's got Fox bodies, he's got the brand new 2013 Gotta Have It green Mustang that he was actually involved in naming. So
Yeah,
it was really, really cool.
we should point that out. When Mike Berardi was one of the Ford executives who was so tuned into Mustang that he was on the committee that helped determine what the BOSS program was about, the recent BOSS 302 program. And Mike, when he saw some of the colors that were being offered, they were going to call it electric green. And when Mike saw the car, he said, oh, I gotta have it, I gotta have it. And because he kept saying it over and over, Ford changed the name of that color of the car from electric green to gotta have it green because Mike was so excited.
True story.
And you'd only know this by being in the club. And here it is, a Ford executive, he was in the club. I mean, how often would you say you get to meet?
Here's a funny story about that from last night. I went to Walgreens last night to pick up a prescription, and there was a guy there, and he seen my Mustang jacket on, came over to me and showed me his cell phone. He goes, take a look at this picture, all these different Mustangs in it. I said, is that Mike Berardi's collection? He's like, how did you know that? He's like, oh, I just went on this really great tour there in October, and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, that was our club that did that. He said, well, my uncle took me there. He goes, I'm just a big Mustang fan. I don't own a Mustang. I work for GM. He said, but I'm a Mustang diehard, and he let me join him in the tour, and I said, that was our tour. He was just amazed that we knew that, and it was just nice that it was in the community, and that was something that he really cherished.
See, it's a universal thing. When you're in a car club, it opens the doors to all these, and people will come up to you on this. It's one thing to have a really cool car and have people give you a thumbs up, But if you just drive a plain Jane car, you can still be in the club, Mike. You can still enjoy all of these little advantages. You can still enjoy the learning part of it. And I also understand that you have, from time to time, you get some special guests come out. I know that I've been trying to get a Mustang stylist, a guy named Gail Halderman, who actually drew the original Mustang. I'd sure love to have him come out to the club. Your chance to meet executives. I know this summer during the SVT homecoming, we got to meet Hao Tai Tang, who is the father of the current S197 Mustang, and you met Neil Ressler, a vice president retired from Ford. But for a Ford guy, he was the guy behind the guy who started the Ford GT program, the guy who invented the special vehicle team, now retired, came to the club banquet. How cool is it to have dinner with the guy that invented your car? I mean, that's like,
Absolutely.
It's like a TV fan going to lunch with Oprah. Come on, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? That's what I think the cool part of your club.
We have such a great relationship with Ford. It's growing by the day. We've had the marketing manager, Steve Ling, came out to one of our meetings. Just on a fluke call one day, I asked him what he was doing, and he showed up. And for that to happen is unheard in this world. And he's just a great guy and just came out. And I mean, the crowd was just ecstatic that he was there. We actually held our meeting in May. You
got to tell them this story. Folks, most club meetings, I've been to club meetings where in the back room of Denny's with like 30 guys, and sometimes they or the back room of whatever little restaurant, or an old hall, the VFW hall, and 12, 15 guys show up and they do their minutes. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But in Mike's case, the club meetings generally have 70, 80, 90, 100 people. You just moved to a recent new banquet facility, which used to
Warren
be
Valley.
Warren Valley. So now if you want to go, it's the second Tuesday of each month, to go out to Warren Valley in the evening, 6, 7 o'clock. And you guys can go out and have dinner with the Mustang Club, have a drink, listen to their guest speaker, go through the minutes, and really get to meet everyone. But the coolest thing last year, no, it's not good enough for Mike to have this wonderful, big, huge banquet hall. Mike set up the wheels in motion to have his club meeting held at the Ford World Headquarters Auditorium inside the Ford World Headquarters building. How do you get in there?
It took a lot of work, a lot of planning, but we got inside the Ford World Headquarters. Close to 400 members showed up at that meeting. And our average meetings now are between 100 and 150 people, even in the winter months. We had 120 this last month. In January, that's unheard of. But we had close to 400 there. We had the 13 Ford execs were in attendance at that meeting.
Originally, he was going to have Edsel Ford himself come down and speak and say hello to the Mustang Club. And what a cool thing it would be for any Ford fan to meet Edsel Ford. But then what happened? It wasn't just Edsel.
No, it was not just Edsel. That was the original plan, but we had Jamie Allison from Ford Racing, we had John Clor, we had Steve Ling, we had Dave Parasek.
The chief Mustang engineer.
Yeah.
You had the vice president of Ford, which is Mark Fields.
Yes, we had Mark Fields there.
Raj Nair, the new product development chief. You had Jim Farley, the marketing manager at Ford. You had SVT's. I mean, this was the who's who of Ford management came down. And why did they come down to this meeting? To say hi to the Mustang Club. I mean, your chances of meeting the guys who build and create your cars in the modern day America
and ask questions
are pretty much, and say hello, get enough, are zero and none. But there again, the joy of being in a cool club that opens doors of opportunity for members.
That's a benefit that nobody will ever forget, and they still talk about to this day.
Well, I tell you what, that story still exists, and everybody's still talking about it. That's the problem, though, folks. How do you top yourself? Well, you get bigger, you get better, you get more connected. And I think in your case, is there any limits you see to the growth of the club?
No limits. It's all about imagination and what we can do next.
I like that. Now, I heard a rumor last year, you may have said it at one of our club meetings, you may have said something like, if just every member could bring the cars they have registered in the club, because as you guys know, now women, don't get upset with us when you say, why do guys have more than 1 or 2 collector cars? Do you need more than 1 or 2 collector cars? No, we don't need them. In fact, we really don't need any collector cars, but we love them. It's kind of like you with shoes. Do you need 50 pairs of shoes? I know my wife has so many shoes. I think she puts them there just to make sure that I'm injured in a trip or fall and she gets the insurance money. No, I love her. She would never do that. But I'm saying we have 700 members, but there are way more than 700 cars.
We are over 1,200 cars right now.
In the club.
In the club alone.
So so you said to the members, okay, if you just brought the cars you own, nobody from around the entire Detroit metropolitan area comes and shows up at the club. If you just brought the members and you brought your cars, you would have a 1,200 car show.
Yeah, just from our club alone, it's unbelievable to think that. Yes.
So let's think about when this summer's coming. What's the process to get involved with just memories?
Well, a good kickoff is in March we have our our spring swap meet at Village Ford, and we always offer a discount to join the club at that point. There and at Mustang Memories, we provide a benefit. You can join the club for $20. It's normally $35 to join, so you're getting in for half the price, and you're going to reap all the benefits of paying full price. And it's just an amazing opportunity to come on in, meet people right away, and see what's available.
Then you're going to hear more about the planning for memories, and then if you go to a membership meeting or get online, you can usually register right online. You don't even have to go anywhere. You take PayPal or whatever.
Yes.
So if you have a car that you want to show, bring down to the show, you get it registered online. Then if, let's say you just want to come in as a spectator, you just know the event, you have parking available, right?
Yes.
So you can come down to the show. You don't, let's say you don't want to bring your car down, you don't think it's worthy. Is there such a thing that a car is not worthy to be at your show?
Absolutely not. And like I said, you don't have to own a car to become a member, just an enthusiast. But everything can be done online. It's very easy. You don't have to be tech savvy to get on it. It's very self-explanatory. Makes it quite easy for everybody, for the swap meet, for the car show, to join the club. Everything's available online.
So folks, let's face it, if you're just sitting at home, you see the cars on TV, you see these little car shows on TV about old cars, you really want to get involved, it's really simple just to come on down, World Headquarters every August. It's just a lot of fun. Get involved in the club. It's really, really worth your investment. Mike, I know you can't believe this, but we're kind of running out of time, and I do want to get to another great part of our show, which is a classic part of Cars in Context.
Okay.
It's called Pride in My Ride. Okay, now what do you think we would say about Pride in My Ride for this particular show when we have the guest, the president of MOCSEM, Mike Rey? We're going to use Mike Rey's own car, and we'll put a picture of it up here on the screen for you. This is Mike Rey's Mustang. Mike, why don't you tell a little bit of the story behind your beautiful Mustang here, because it doesn't look stock.
Although sometimes it has been classified that on air.
Oh, really?
But not at Mustang Memories.
So this is your sweetheart car.
This is my baby. A lot of people try to say it's the wife, but it's really the car.
No, I bet Tracy. Tracy's better looking than the car. No, the car looks good.
The funny thing is, when I ordered the car, I had 6 weeks to get it, and during those 6 weeks, all I did was order parts and stock them in the garage, waiting to change the car up as soon as I got it home. Went and picked the car up. It was on the 24th of June.
Well, that's a standard color.
On the 25th of June, the mufflers were gone. Had a little bit louder car on there. The wheels were bolted on, I think, on the 26th. My first set of wheels, I've been through 4 already. The ones you see now are the current ones.
You just never know. Do this shoes go with this purse?
Right. My car has been titled by a lot of the members as the Bling Mobile because
It's bling. Look at folks. Is that bling or what?
If you see underneath the hood, it's nothing but chrome.
Put your shades on.
You don't see that too often on the newer cars. It's mostly on older cars, but it's chrome. As soon as you open it up, like I said, you do need your sunglasses probably when you open up my hood.
That's Mike Rey's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Mustang. Folks, if you have a car you want featured on Pride in My Ride, you can send it to me, J. Clor at carsincontext.com, and we'll be sure to show it on the air at a future edition of Cars in Context. Mike, we're out of time again. I want to thank you for coming on down.
Thank you so much.
We're going to be at the Hall of Fame this summer. We're going to see you again at Mustang Memories. Folks, we really appreciate you tuning in to us as well. Don't forget, until next time, remember that knowledge is power. I'm your host, John Clor. Thanks for watching.